Welcome, Music Over Matter. Today, we are taking a look back at one of the craziest months in music history, specifically hip hop. And that's going to be the month of March 2020. It's, of course, a massive month outside of music as well, because that's when the lockdown started, at least in the US. But with that came three of possibly the most hyped albums the entire year, dropping 3 weeks in a row, with Eternal Atake, Heaven or Hell, and After Hours. So we're going to take a look at those three albums today, listen to some of the highlights, talk about our favorite parts, how we feel about the albums 4 years later. So let's get started. How do you feel about Eternal Atake? We'll start there, since it's the first one to drop, obviously.
There's a few highlights on it that I still go back to, but overall as a project, I don't like it that much. I really never have, because I'm not a crazy Uzi fan. He's made better projects than this too. This might have been a crazy concept, because there's of course a concept to the album,
Yeah.
with like the transitions and stuff like that, but there's only a few songs I always go back to. It's like Baby Pluto, Prices, and maybe P2 are the three I go back to.
I feel the same way. I'm not a huge Uzi fan, but this album does have, a few highlights on it. I might not go back to it that much. It hasn't aged that well, in my opinion. There's not much that's come out from it. Like, there's nothing that transcends time, basically.
Yeah.
But it was extremely hyped up. I'm assuming a lot of people's most anticipated album of the year going into 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So let's listen to a few highlights here. We'll start with Baby Pluto, the intro.
Whole lot of emeralds, please tuck your baguettes. Yeah, whole lot of red rubies on my neck. If it's beef, no partake. No, I do not eat steak. All I eat is fish plates.
Great intro. He raps his ass off there.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I think of Eternal Atake, I don't know why, but I think of the beat on You Better Move.
I'm a dog, bitch, I holler at the moon. I remember when I didn't have cable. That was back when I used to watch Zoom. You better move. Ooh, you better move. Ooh.
I don't know if I like the song, but the pinball beat is just iconic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
The one that stands out the most is going to be Prices. I think we knew it was coming. It was
sure.
like leaked, I think, that Uzi had a Travis beat or something. I don't remember, because when Prices starts, I remember being like, oh shit, this is the Travis beat.
I just went up in my price. I just went up in my price. Hey, I drove my whip like it's stolen.
And I think it's an incredible sample flip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't just he took the way back beat. It changed it up. It incorporated the sample into it. And it's a good song too. Prices is definitely my favorite song off Eternal Atake.
Yeah, me too.
And then to finish out the album, minus the bonus tracks, of course, you got P2.
There's no emotion on my face, cause I'm not. You see me everywhere you look, no, you can't hide or run. Get out. I don't really care, cause I'm done. All the real love is not fun.
Of course, that's the interpolation of his own song, EXO Tour Life, but
Yeah.
what a highlight there, too. It maybe hasn't aged well. There's still, crazy highlights on that album that are fun to look back on. For me, personally, Eternal Atake holds a spot because it dropped late. It dropped at 7 a.m. on Friday. Of course, West Coast, we normally get albums at 9 p.m. on Thursday. So it dropped late. We were in class. Everyone stopped what they were doing and just listened to Eternal Atake. Let's move on to Heaven or Hell. Now, with Heaven or Hell, we mentioned not liking Eternal Atake much. Heaven or Hell, this is where it's at.
Yeah, my first memory with the album, it was, 9 o'clock at night. I was laying in bed listening to it, and some songs just hit like crazy on there, like Pitch Black in my room. Euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, Euphoria comes on. Hard Again. All those slow songs. Company. Those just hit different.
Heaven or Hell hit different when it dropped, because when it dropped, Don Toliver's sound, this was crazy.
Yeah, this was probably one of my most hyped albums, just because, of course, you get your first time hearing him for most people on Can't Say, and then you get Jack Boys in 2019, which showed off more of what Don Toliver can do, and then this dropped, of course, early 2020.
And you're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh shit. I was hyped for this album.
I think when everyone heard this album, you knew immediately this dude was going to be a superstar. It was unreal first listen. And I still think it ages well.
Oh yeah.
I like the way Don Toliver's careers went. Even if I don't like Love Sick, even though I do,
Yeah, overall I do.
his sound is still progressing, and of course he's doing an album rollout right now. And this, of course, was followed up by Life of a Dawn, which is my favorite. But Heaven or Hell is still incredible. Absolute bangers on here. This was, for us, this dropped on the last day of school, which was March 13th. And I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life. Everyone knew it was going to be our last day.
Yeah,
it was such a weird day.
Yeah, it was a weird feeling.
Everyone that goes to school in America can relate to what we're saying here, which is that last day was so weird. Everyone was like, why are we even here? We all know we're getting closed down.
Yeah, it was just like looking back on it now, it was like almost a euphoric feeling almost.
And Heaven or Hell was the perfect album to drop that day. Yeah. It's actually insane. So let's listen. If you're enjoying the retrospective so far, be sure to scroll down and hit that subscribe button for us. And let's get back to it. Heaven or Hell, of course. I'll never forget hearing that the first time. This right here. Oh my God, I was like, oh shit.
I hit your bitch, I guess you won't get it back. I wanna smoke some.
What an intro track. I don't want to listen to every single song on here. But we could. Holy shit, we could. We gotta listen to Euphoria, though.
I'm drowning in euphoria. We both have high.
That track is still incredible. Oh shit, we're listening to every track. Oh shit, okay, that's fine. Cardigan. That's arguably Don Toliver's best song. I could see people arguing that. Cardigan is that good. And then, of course, you got After Party, which is massive.
Yeah, for After Party, I remember like showing my friends in the morning. I'm like, yo, hear this. Yeah. And I would play the intro to it. They're like, what the fuck is this? Okay, I'll pull up. I'm like, my God.
After Party is so good. And then, of course, had the resurgence because of capybaras. I don't get the correlation, but it's hilarious. It's so good. Like that's one of those songs that deserves to be a hit, right?
Yeah.
You got Wasted, Can't Feel My Legs, one of my favorites on the album. Company, of course. Spaceship, one of my favorites. And then one of my favorites is what the hell? No Photos.
Yeah.
And then it finishes out with No Idea.
Yeah, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, so that sums up Heaven or Hell. And then we wrap it up with After Hours.
One of the craziest rollouts that in the most recent years. Yeah. You got, of course, Heartless, huge song. And then after that, Blinding Lights, which it wasn't big at first, but
that's one of the weirdest stories ever. Like one of the weirdest timelines is that Blinding Lights did garbage on the charts until the album dropped, and then it becomes the most streamed song of all time.
Yeah, but those two songs, just the rollout was crazy. The world that he was building was crazy. Also, he dropped After Hours. Was that the last single?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then that like came with a short film with it too.
Craziest rollout ever. Of course, it turned into the After Hours era, which is one of the biggest eras of music from a musician ever. Ended with a Super Bowl performance, massive, absolutely huge. For me personally, if you've watched the channel, you know The Weeknd is by far my favorite artist of all time. After Hours, middle of the road for me, if I'm being honest. When it came out, life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. But as time goes on, I prefer at least 4 other Weeknd albums over it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take away from what After Hours was.
Yeah, it was because I was so invested into the music, it was like an era for me too.
Yeah.
Like waiting for it and all this new stuff dropping with it.
Yeah, there's some top tier Weeknd songs on After Hours I will listen to, but there's also some middle of the road that I don't prefer that side of the Weeknd, like the pop.
Yeah.
For example, Too Late, Hardest to Love, Scared to Live.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, Hardest to Love is like,
In Your Eyes and Save Your Tears, I go back and forth on. Those are also very pop, but I do like them more.
Yeah, I like them.
But like I said, there's some top tier Weeknd on here, top tier music, period. And this, of course, After Hours holds a spot in a lot of people's hearts because this was like the massive album that got people through like 2 months of lockdown because no other artist was dropping because it was just like they couldn't get in the studio or anything. Yeah. So I'll never forget hearing this, dude. Yeah, absolutely iconic. Song that I think is really slept on is Snow Child.
I don't like that song.
Yeah, you don't like it. I love that song. Snow Child is
Think
amazing.
I'm shady.
Oh yeah, there's that bar in it,
That
but
shit's
the
terrible.
rest of the song is good. Escape from LA is a great song.
Yeah.
You got Heartless.
I've been dodging death in the 6-speed. Amphetamine got my stomach feeling sickly. All this money in this game got me heartless. More life, 'cause I'm heartless.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Metro Boomin and The Weeknd are just like a crazy pair. Faith. First time I heard that song, it was immediately my favorite on the album. Has not changed.
Yeah, me too.
Has not changed since.
Yeah.
The moment I heard that song, I said, this is the greatest song I've ever heard.
Yeah. Okay. But also with that outro on there. Like,
Yeah.
just the atmosphere.
And then Blinding Lights, of course. Repeat After Me, one of the most slept on this album as well. I get it's an interlude, but good lord. After Hours. This beat is so insane with the dice rolling. Holy shit, it's genius. You got Until I Bleed Out, a crazy outro. And we have to play this song because I will always remember I was standing at work. The Weeknd posts a snippet for the deluxe, and it just has the Nothing Compares beat on it. I was like, holy shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sums up the most iconic possibly month in music ever. In my opinion, it is. I don't think any month of music will ever stand up to March 2020. Let us know how you feel about these 3 albums in the comments below. Let us know how you thought it aged, what your favorite songs are, that sort of thing. And we'll see you in the next video.